Hi Gems, welcome to your energy check-in. So this is just going to be when you see it, not really a weekly message, but it's a powerful one. So like the video and comment. If you want to book your 7 key messages right now, it's below. If you want to join the membership, you can. Definitely like and comment on the video because it helps. And if you want another type of reading, just comment in the comment section or email me in the description below. Okay, so Trump came up. So President Trump came up, and obviously he is a Gemini. So I think there's a powerful message here that collectively the world is at war. It's a grab for power, right, on the front of Iran, China, with the Western world. That's really what's happening. It's a grab for power, right? World dominance, all of this. But I feel like there's a message for you, which is it's similar in your world. So you could be being affected by these factors, or it could be that there's people in your world who are actively trying to beat you into submission because you did get the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles is there's a person who's the dominator, and then there's the person who's the beggar, right? And so some of you right now, you feel like that Six of Pentacles person, you're on your knees, could be financially, or you're in a set of circumstances where you have to be there. You have to play the game because your survival, your life depends on you playing these games. So there's a strong message for Geminis at this time that there is going to be big consequences to choices that you make now. Now there's going to be big consequences for us all because collectively everything that happens, it affects us all. But this is also in our independent lives. This is our choices. This is Geminis need to get in the driving seat. Now I mentioned Trump because Trump was running his mouth on the weekend, true Gemini style, and then he backed down on the Monday. Not good. This is a message at this time. Don't run your mouth if you're not willing to suffer the consequences. Don't say nothing. Nothing. You're also given whatever's got power over your life more power and more fuel by running your mouth. Now's the time to be quiet, okay? But I feel like there's a strong message of this week. The energy is like you're confused. Like some of you have got a lot going on. You're dealing with a lot in your life. There's not just one thing going on. There's multiple things going on. And I think this is triggering you. It might be bringing out your shadow. It's making you tired. It's making you frustrated. But I think now is the time to deal with things in a calm way. Some of you need to leave an old life. And the truth is that the end can only happen, that this new beginning can only happen by the end. And it's going to feel scary because some of you are transitioning into a whole new life or a whole new way of being, and it's scary because you don't know what the other side looks like. But at the end of the day, for something new to be born, something else has to die, right? And so some of you, I think Geminis need to, I think you're flapping a bit, and you need to remember how powerful you are. And also God was coming up here, which is basically some of you feel like you're being tested right now or you're being punished, but it's God's will. And if you get out your mind, the matrix mind that's scared, and you understand that it's divine plan, you'll be fine. Even in the bad stuff, even in whatever's going to test you or press on you or what is, you're going to be fine. Because that's the difference between divine consciousness and human consciousness. Human consciousness is scared, it's flappy. Divine consciousness is not. It trusts there's a bigger plan, there's a bigger reason, okay? I'm not saying it's easy. Nine of Swords. So you've got the cockroach. So some of you could be in some kind of environment that's like not good. We've been talking about this for a while. So maybe you've got some kind of infestation or basically the environment you're in. I am getting poverty coming up really strongly, yeah? So being in places that have real poverty. Some of you might be dealing with real poverty, in other words, real money problems, and the Nine of Swords is a lot of stress over that. But again, especially with the Gemini woman, the Queen of Swords reversed. So the Queen of Swords reversed is somebody who doesn't handle things properly. She might be getting emotional, she might be getting reactive, she might be falling into hate and bitterness. Now's the time for strategy. Even if you've got yourself into an impossible situation, you can change this around by learning your lessons. Like, in other words, how did I get here? Maybe that's the question you should ask yourself at this point. Like, how did I get here? Because when you ask yourself, how did I get here, you learn the lesson, how you got there. Whereas if you're coming from anger, frustration, bitterness, projection, you're not really learning anything, are you? Okay? But again, I would definitely say with the Queen of Swords reversed, like, whatever you're currently in, you're not handling it the way a Queen of Swords upright would handle it. Maybe it's certain people who are challenging you, testing you, similar to Trump. Again, shut your mouth, sit down in a seat and think things through. That's what's going to get you out of this. Three of Pentacles. So some of you, we talked about money. This could also be debtors. This could be rent. But you can see that this person is coming with some kind of, this person wants to talk to this person about something. But you can deal with this. Okay, what is the strength of Gemini right now? Okay, judgment. Good judgment. So judgment is, and also judgment is like some of you can see things coming ahead. The Queen of Swords is a strategist, the King of Swords is a strategist. So one, it's about the strength of you right now is having good judgment. This is also your divine angel guiding you. This represents red flags. So some of you, I think your judgment right now is you can see the games people are playing and you can see what's coming. And this is going to help you avoid things and it's going to help you get out of a situation you're in. Okay, so good judgment is good. Also divine is coming up very strongly here, so I do think we talked about this in the previous reads. Check them on the channel for Gemini because there's some good stuff there. But the current energy check-in is that you seem to be being guided. If you fall into your own mind, if you fall into your own ego, you'll lead yourself astray, similar to Trump. Now's not the time for that. Now's the time to be tuned in, to be quiet, to be wise, because there is information that's coming through that doesn't belong to you. And it's telling you about people, and it's telling you about things that are coming, and it's telling you about moves you should make before maybe enemies make them, etc. Okay? I do think some of you Geminis, and I specifically heard the word suffocating. I kind of get that. Like some of you feel like you're suffocating. And I think it's the environment you're in. We've been talking about this, the type of, maybe it's a job, maybe it's a toxic relationship. You need to take your power back. Okay? So tell me about the good stuff for Gemini at this time. Not waiting. And that's what this Aries energy is about, the Seven of Pentacles reversed. Is like, again, it's also just not being patient, not being tolerant. I think also there's people who think they've got you made. They think they can control you. They think they know what you're going to do next, and they don't know a Gemini. Even with Trump, okay, he was running his mouth and he didn't follow through, but no one knows what Trump's going to do next. That's the thing with the Gemini. Gemini doesn't know what it's going to do next. So there's also that. But I'm going to say that some of you right now, you need to stand up. You need to... there's something about, that's why the 7 key messages will be a really good reading for you at this time, because it's 7 key messages that the divine wants you to know. Check it in the description below. But I feel like there's a not waiting. Some of you can see things that are coming ahead and you need to act at this time. And I'd say when it comes to like petty people, just like I said, they're not even in the game, I wouldn't even entertain them. People are going to get flattened by so much that's coming. You have not got time for idiots. Like really, okay? Justice. So I would also say with this combination, there could also be some kind of legal contract. So with this combination, there could be some kind of, someone could get taken to court, or they could be taken to, this is police, it can be courts, it can be someone being sued. Some of you could be going through this right now, a divorce. That's what I'm kind of getting. Some of you are dealing with an enemy, or you're dealing with something you've never dealt with before, and it does feel like a lot. That's why it's important to be calm. Not emotional, not angry, not reactive, because it does not. And right now, as much as you're being tested, the calmer you can keep yourself, the more balanced you can be, the more you'll figure things out. There's just been a strong message of like, don't forget who you are. I do think some Geminis are where they are because they forgot who they are. And I think with your enemies, remember what I said, with idiots I wouldn't pay them no mind. But with actual enemies, now's not the time to be lenient. Now's not the time to be a fool. Now is the time where you say what you mean and you mean what you say. No concessions with an enemy. If they make themselves your enemy, make them wish they didn't. That's it. Now's not the time for softness, now's the time for serious follow through. Okay? So see this. So the Nine of Cups is someone who's like smug and they're playing games and all this type of stuff. The Nine of Cups reversed is we're not doing that now. But I think there's a strong message that basically you're trying to get yourself out of a life. Some of you have got a lot of challenges right now. And remember what I said, some of you are dealing with serious poverty. This is a big problem. So maybe your job. Some of you could be facing eviction, or you could be facing some kind of, maybe the loss of a job. I feel like as well with the Justice card reversed, like some of you there's been an injustice, but again, I feel like as well there's another message that's coming through that while there has been an injustice, it's in your favour. So I feel like something's been done in some of your lives where you feel like this is an ultimate injustice or betrayal, or like you feel like you're suffering because of this. But again, it's all in the divine plan. Sometimes your enemy's working for you, you just don't know that. Like, really. So I think there's a strong message for Gemini, and if you look at last week's reading, we said this week you're mentally fucked up. But again, it's because it was the Mercury retrograde, it was kind of flappy energy. There's a message for Gemini at this time, which is you need to be your best version at this time. You need to watch what you say. You need to deal with things moment to moment, rather than firing off, being reactive, being emotional. Because like I said, some of these people, that's exactly what they're looking for, the reaction, the response. And you've also got the Two of Cups, so the Two of Cups can be somebody who really supports you. Okay? I feel like some of you hate the life you're living in. I kind of get that as well, like the life you're living in, the kind of people you're around, the job you're in, maybe the version. You really hate it, but part of you doesn't know how to get out. And that's the message here at this time, which is think in the past when you were different versions, you just started, you took one step after the other, right? But the message is if you're going to get to the life you want, or you're going to change the version you're in, you've got to go through it. There's no avoiding it. And that's a message at this time with everything that's going on in the world. There's no avoiding it. There's no pretending it's not happening. It's happening, right? And if you can kind of sit down and say, okay, the Queen of Swords reversed is not ready, whereas the Queen of Swords upright is completely ready for any enemy, any test, any challenge. She's a formidable opponent, unfazed, unscared, and she's a strategist. Now again, obviously some of yous, this could be trying to move careers, it could be leaving a relationship, it could be dealing with a divorce. Remember what I said, everybody's got their battle or their war in their own way. But what you don't want to be doing right now is acting like Trump. Right? No, sometimes it's the art of deception. He's confusing them, like 1 minute he's coming hardball, next minute he's changing his tune. It could be a strategy, right? But the point I'm making is I do think at this time it is important to watch what you're saying, watch what you're doing, and rather than being emotional and reactive, think about how can I get myself out of whatever personal situation I'm in my life. Being calm. And also the divine is telling you that some of you are being seriously tested at this time. I can sense it. Like, really tested. But life is that, right? In life, we're either going into a storm, we're in the middle of a storm, or we're coming out of a storm. And then there'll be grace periods, but mostly it's either you're going into a storm, you're in the middle of a storm, or you're coming out of a storm. And you might get a bit of peace for a little while, and then you'll be back to going into the storm. And I think some of you right now, what you're in is kind of unbearable, and I also hear beneath you, right? So it's unbearable and it's beneath you, and so right now it might feel like punishment, but actually it's rebirth. So in other words, what you're being put through, even though it's painful, even though part of you feels like you're not ready, it's helping you. It's grace. Right, it is grace. So, Nine of Cups reversed is these people who are trying to goad you. So we just talked about this. The Nine of Cups upright is like people who are like trying to get, look, and this is you being like, yeah, Okay, you know. But yeah, tell me some more good stuff, please. Tell me some more good stuff. 10 of Wands. Something has to break. You know, so something has to be let go of, right? 10 of Wands is like, see this person is burying the head in the sand. So there is a message. The other side of the coin is sometimes the universe is moving pieces, or sometimes other people are moving pieces, or what we're in becomes so unbearable that we have no choice but to act. And so that can be a good thing, which is basically because on the other side we realise that that's what got us out, right? So, but money is definitely coming up here. I'm getting poverty, just feeling stuck. Okay, so where you're not helping yourself at this time is your energy. So it can be how you're applying your energy at this time. Your energy might be all over the place. It might be angry, it might be reactive, or you're just not putting energy into your life. And then we've got the TV. So some of you, it could also be what's taking place in the world is really affecting you. And the message here is turn off the TV. See the way this person has killed the TV. So some of you need to kill certain media. You need to stop watching certain creators. You need to get to work. Because this person is anxious. So this can be tuning into things that make us anxious, they make us fearful. Also, it's also distraction. Social media is a distraction, because if we're just constantly watching social media and scrolling, we're not taking action in our own lives. So some of us need to be less focused on the conflict in the world and more focused on the conflict in your own life. Some of us need to take action. But I love this for you because I feel like some of yous are that Gemini, but some of yous are the opposite Gemini. And what I'm getting is some motherfuckers think they know you. They think they know you. Genuinely, they don't know how bipolar we are. These motherfuckers are acting bipolar. We're actually bipolar. No offense to people with actual bipolar disorder. And I mean that more as a jest. What I mean is Gemini is the double people. We are the double twin. We have two sides. So, like I said, we're love to people who've actually been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I have my beliefs, but I'm not mocking. I'm just saying, for me, when I say bipolar, I mean more like two different people. Like 1 minute we're one version, next minute we're the next version. And I feel like Gemini is that. We've got the two sides. You know, we can be the nicest people you'll ever meet, and we can be absolutely crazy. And we ain't playing. You know, and I'm not saying people with bipolar are playing either, because I want to be careful, because I know some people, they go through hell with these conditions, and it's not funny to like in any way make people feel like I'm mocking, because I'm not. What I'm saying is there's some people in your world who actually think they've got you made, they actually think they know you, like, and it's like they're not ready for that type of war. But on a serious note, I think for a lot of Geminis, you need to bring yourself into balance, and you need to, I feel like the divine, the guardian angel, your guardian angel, ancestors maybe, they're telling you about things that are coming down the pipe. And I think you're going to need the two twins as well. I think you're going to need the two twins with the kind of things that we're facing on a global level and on a personal level. I think you need the two twins. One is decent, fair, reasonable, and the other is ruthless. No prisoners. You make me your enemy, we're enemies. Don't go playing now. No, right? But on the other side of the coin, you're not out there acting crazy, making a mountain out of a molehill, having big reactions, because I'm going to be doing a video soon for Aries season, and that's going to be interesting. Okay, let's see if there's any other messages. But I'm going to say, Gemini, that there's big changes coming, and it's better that you be in the driving seat of these changes. Because if the world is in the driving seat, you could be pushed down paths, roads and places you don't want to go. You know, now's the time to say whether I'm ready, not ready. It's time to deal with whatever this thing is that's keeping me up at night. It's time to deal with this thing that's torturing me. It's time to deal with it. It's time to put me focus and the energy in the right direction. And you're not doing that, because the Queen of Swords is coming up reversed. So, get ready for the change because it's coming. So I think that's a big message here. The big message here is that the death card is something is ending. And so maybe you're putting an end to something, maybe you're leaving a job, maybe you're leaving a relationship, maybe you're leaving a marriage, or maybe someone else is going to make a choice that's going to affect you. And so I think there's a message at this time to protect your interest, protect yourself. Maybe things will come out of nowhere, right? So maybe things will happen that you're not prepared for, and this could be things we talked about. This can be being sued, this can be being sacked, this can be some kind of problems, like this can be eviction. But I do think that it doesn't really come out of nowhere. I feel like the message for Gemini is, with that Judgment card, you're sensing it. You're sensing what's coming. So it might not be happening right now, but say you're in a job and people seem to be causing problems for you, or there seems to be in some way, the message here is, you already know. It's like you're being told ahead of time what's coming, and your job is to prepare for it. So this is just a quick energy update. Like the video, comment if you want to book a read. The 7 key messages will be amazing, and I'll speak to you soon.